In the evenings when we open the window, it's so bad, so we in closet all night, like a rotten animal sometimes. It's a beautiful place to live, but I can't, put in danger my situation, my kids, my grandkids.
Beautiful place to live, but oh, the smell. A decades-long environmental nightmare might soon come to an end. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin announcing a deal with Mexico to stop raw sewage from flowing into the Tijuana River, polluting California beaches. Just days ago, the California Assembly unanimously approved a motion asking President Trump to declare a state of emergency in the Tijuana River Valley. This week's agreement promises a 100% permanent solution by the end of 2027. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin joins us now. Lee, congratulations on the agreement. What brought Mexico to the table here? Why all of a sudden, after years of inaction, did this happen?
I think that there are a few different dynamics to that. One is President Trump is in office. President Sheinbaum in Mexico comes into office. Both presidents talking about the desire to have a permanent 100% solution. That timing is certainly not insignificant. Also, I would have to give a shout out to Secretary Rubio, Deputy Secretary Landau, and Ambassador Johnson, the team over at the State Department working with EPA, with the IBWC, the United States delegation working hard with counterparts over in Mexico. And this just was at that point where it needed to get done. There's a lot of different negotiations, topics that are being discussed. On this one, this was something that we met, the U.S. and Mexico delegation, in April in San Diego. We met the Mexican consulate. And over the course of the following 90 days, we finalized this agreement. I just returned. This is my first interview since returning from Mexico City, where I signed the agreement with Secretary Barcena, their environmental minister. The memorandum of understanding includes entering into a new minute, where Mexico is going to be obligating the remaining funds of a prior commitment, which is significant. We are speeding up the timeline for completion of projects that were previously committed to and adding a whole bunch of new projects that are essential in order to actually have that permanent 100% solution.
Earlier this year, the mayor of Imperial Beach talked about the inaction that had been, paralyzing this issue for years. Listen.
Biden administration failed us, and the administration before that, we had under the first Trump administration, the administrator of the EPA come and tour the area as well, and we're still here. And the fact that he met with the Mexican government, my hope is that Mexico will put skin in the game and that we can create that collaboration and cooperation to finally end this, because otherwise we're going to be in this situation for another decade.
And it appears that Mexico came through here.
Yeah, and you were speaking in the intro about the foul smell. You've gotten some testimony of stories of people directly impacted, the degradation of the Tijuana River Valley, the impacts to Navy SEALs training in Coronado, beaches closed. The list goes on of the environmental impacts, and this is also a border issue and a border win, a national security win. And fortunately, over the course of the 3 months that followed that April visit to San Diego, there was nothing but progress. There was no need to be lobbying threats and taking inventory of additional leverage. The United States government and Mexican government very productively over the course of the last few months, and especially these last few weeks, decided that we need to get this done to end a decades-old crisis. And fortunately, here we are now. Total follow-up is going to be essential. That was my message when I was in Mexico. Every conversation about this agreement, whether I was talking to people there from the United States, I was talking to people from Mexico, including Secretary Barcena, is that this isn't something where you check a box by signing an agreement. This requires total follow-up. And part of this memorandum, by the way, of understanding, part of this agreement is that over the next 100 days, both governments would work to further stress test projects to see if timelines can get even further down on top of the reduction that's included inside of this agreement.
All right, so it's a big win for really both governments and for the EPA. But you are presiding over an agency that is bound to shrink, and it just depends on which side in Washington or which agency, which house in Washington ends up with the bigger cuts. We have a graphic that shows the Senate wants to cut your spending by about 5%. The House is looking for 23% reductions in EPA spending. And over at the White House, the president would like to see almost 55% reductions. What would that do to your agency? And you know, can you afford it?
Even with the numbers that you put up from the proposed budget from the president, the EPA will fulfill our statutory obligations. It is ridiculous how much money was going through the EPA before we got there. Tens of billions of dollars, over $60 billion obligated and spent in 2024. My commitment coming in, President Trump has spoken about it year over year as you go from 24 to 25, is reducing that spending by over 65%, and we're going to get it done. I have canceled over $22 billion worth of grants since coming into this position. We have found efficiencies in getting people to return back to work. We've done agency reorganizations, real estate consolidations, looking at grants and other contracts. We are looking at every possible way to save money, whether or not the idea saves $10,000, $100,000, or $10 billion. Every single conversation is being had because we have a zero tolerance policy for any waste and abuse. So it is our duty to be a good steward of tax dollars. We are going to deliver while also fulfilling all of our statutory obligations.
But in Washington, you know, the agency's budget, the budget of any agency, is kind of a measure of its importance and maybe, say, of your political power as head of that agency. You're willing to give up that budget, that money?
When I came in, our staff size was over 16,000. That number is in the process of going down to 12,500. That right there is a savings of about $750 million. I was just talking about the $22 billion that I canceled in grants. We're saving $18 million a year in a real estate consolidation, removing personnel from the Reagan building, just by canceling certain media contracts that we have or closing down an EPA museum that no one visited. We are continuing to find efficiencies, and everything that I just described, all of that stuff goes away. We are still able to fulfill our statutory obligations in the power of the great American comeback. We will do everything in our power to deliver clean air, land, and water for all Americans, while also being cognizant to what the Trump mandate is. And last November, voters said that they want an agency like EPA to be cognizant of their economic concerns as well and to apply common sense. That means we'll help unleash energy dominance, advance cooperative federalism, pursue permitting reform, help make America the AI capital of the world, and bring back American auto jobs while we are at it. We will both protect the environment and grow the economy. We choose both. It's not a binary choice.
It's a tall order, but it sounds like you're on your way. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.